get the process going. Okay. And we'll go away in a second.
All right, sir, is your name Nicholas? Is it Nezgoda?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just a second. Okay, Ms. Brown present, and I think we're just waiting for prosecutor. Ms. Payne, does the prosecutor usually appear for these hearings?
Yes, they normally do. I will call someone.
Okay, thank you.
Wait, is someone ready to do the? No. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. They will be right with us.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for checking.
I apologize, Judge.
Okay, all right, no problem. We're on the record now. This is People versus Nicholas Nezgoda. This is District Court file number 2442790-FY-3. I'm presiding over this for purposes of arraignment today on behalf of Judge Cooper. The record should reflect Mr. Nezgoda is present today by video from the Otsego County Jail. We have Mr. Brown here present for purposes of arraignment. And then Ms. Bruger is also present on behalf of the people, all parties by Zoom today. Mr. Nezgoda, you're before the court for arraignment on 2 felony charges. And I'm going to read those charges to you at this time. At count 1, it's alleged that you did assault Tamika Eichenberg, an individual with whom you had a dating relationship without a weapon, and that you did inflict serious or aggravated injury on her, but without intending to commit the crime of murder or to inflict great bodily harm less than murder. You're being charged with that crime, which is aggravated domestic violence, as a second offense, which means that the maximum possible penalty you could face would be up to 5 years and or a $5,000 fine. Do you understand that?
I guess so, sir. Yes.
All All right, and you're charged at count 2 with domestic violence with regard to an assault and battery you're alleged to have committed against Tamika Eichenberg, an individual with whom you had a dating relationship. You're also being charged with that offense as a second offender, which means the maximum penalty for that offense would be up to 1 year and or a $1,000 fine. Do you understand the maximum penalty on that charge?
Yes, Your Honor, but I do have a question.
Okay.
You did say I had 2 felonies, but that was incorrect. There's 1 felony because it's the second and 1 misdemeanor.
Yep, you're correct. I misspoke.
Okay, I just wanted to check because you had me a little bit sketched right there. I'm okay. So as long as we're on the same page, I understand. Thank you.
Yes, you are correct. Count 1 is
Okay.
a felony. Count 2 is a 1-year misdemeanor.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I'm going to go through your rights with you. You do have the right to have an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you at public expense. Mr. Brown is here today for purposes of arraignment to represent you. Have you had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Brown at all prior to this hearing today?
Yes, I have this morning a little bit, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Brown, were you able to go through Mr. Nisgota's rights with him?
I did not go through his specific rights with him, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Nisgota, I'm going to go through your rights with you. You have the right to have a trial. You have the right to be tried by a jury. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. You have the right to have any witnesses against you appear at trial and to question those witnesses. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses on your behalf appear at a trial. You have the right to remain silent at a trial and to not have that silence used against you. And you have the right to testify at a trial yourself if you wanted to. Do you understand all of your rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown, have you had a chance to talk to Mr. Nisgota about how he wants to plead to these 2 charges today?
Yes, I have, Your Honor. At this time, we would ask the court to enter a not guilty plea.
Okay, so the court will enter a not guilty plea as to both counts on behalf of Mr. Nisgota. Mr. Nisgota, did you want to hire your own attorney or did you want to see if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney?
I'm gonna need to qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and I had spoken with Mr. Brown earlier, who said that he might be better off if Mr. Trush had handled it because he had handled a prior case. So we've already kind of laid the foundation for it. I'm just kind of waiting, but I do need I can't afford one.
Okay, so the court will refer your case to the appointing authority for that. And then the court will set this for hearing on June 12th at 10 a.m. That'll be your next court date for a felony pretrial. And then the court will set this for a felony status conference the following day on June 13th at 1:30. You'll be given a written notice of those dates. Pending those hearings, I believe magistrate has set a bond already in this case. Ms. Bruker, do people take any position on bond pending the next hearing?
Judge, I would just ask that that bond be continued. We had requested a somewhat high bond on this case because the defendant has a previous conviction from 2023 for assaulting the same victim and for safety. He also had fled from the police when they were brought out to the scene of this incident. So we have some safety concerns. I have no objections to the conditions set out, but I would also request that the court order that he meet with community corrections if he is released and that he not possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. And I think the rest of the conditions have already been
Don't
ordered.
speak about your case.
Your Honor, I am
Yeah.
on parole, so I have a detainer. I can't go anywhere anyway. Even if I could afford the bond, I couldn't get out, just so you know.
All right, okay, thank you. Mr. Brown,
You're
anything
welcome.
that you?
Your Honor, Mr. Nisgota is a local resident here. He is currently working. As he mentioned, Mr. Trush handled him on his underlying case here, which was a few months ago. He is currently on parole. I would ask the court to take that into consideration when setting a bond. He's sitting here on dead time. I'm not sure what's going to go on with his parole. He is facing, depending upon, if there is a plea or a conviction, a consecutive sentence here. But inform me that he has a place to go, a place that he can stay. I think any of the standard terms and conditions are reasonable. He is not going to have any contact. He does understand that. So I would ask the court to take that into consideration when setting a bond in this matter.
All right, the court has had a chance to review the charges as well as take into account the recommendations made by both sides in terms of bond. The court finds that given the circumstances, bond has been appropriately set by the magistrate, so the court will just continue the bond that was previously set.
Your Honor, I don't know what that bond was.
$10,000 cash or surety.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Bruker, anything further we need to address from your side today?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Niskoda, do you have any questions?
Yeah, you said I have court on the 11th and the 12th?
12th and 13th. Yeah.
Okay, all right,
And you'll get a written notice of that.
okay.
Okay, thank you, that's all.
Other than that, I'm good, Your Honor.
Thank you, all parties are free to disconnect at this time.
Thanks.
That also is the court's morning docket. The